Welcome everyone to the Season 8 opener of Saturday Night Shootout. I first want to apologize for not uploading last night as I worked on the video all day long yesterday. And by the time I would have uploaded it, it would have been very late. And I didn't want that for you guys. But this season here of Saturday Night Shootout is going to be a year-long season. So you guys be ready to get to know these drivers very well and these trucks very well. As you see, we got some newcomers and new trucks out here. Some of these guys have trucks in the works, like Steve Jones has one on the way, but he's in the Virginia Giant for now. Coming across here, you see Chris Baluk in the Stone Crusher. James Valancourt, he won the last episode of the Season 6 finale on the Hot Wheels side, so he's still carrying the checkered flag. Several teams are going to be represented this year. Over there in the corner was Wild West Racing. There's the Sunflower Monster Truck crew. And then coming over here, that's Team Walk the Plank Racing. Jason Craddock and the Red Snake Bite and his daughter Violet still carrying the checkered flag from the Spin Master Series. There's Corey Marvin, Chevy American Revolution Race Team. Chad Legit with the Tropical Thunder. Raylyn Mullins, one of Jeffrey Skipper's daughters. And then there's Team Thick and Thin Racing with Rudy and Savannah. There's Mitch Brown and the Trick Flow, Bigfoot. And there's Team 911, Rich Wagner and his son Ethan. And then coming over here, Blaster Motorsports is here with Blake and Mohawk Warrior. Jeffrey Skipper and Blue Thunder Overcast. Ryan Hayward and the Bigfoot. And then last but not least, another team representing, that's Get Schooled Racing with leader Ryan Johnson and his brand new West Virginia Mountaineer and his son Aiden and Doomsday. I hope these guys are ready for a great year of racing. Get ready for high hopes and heartbreaks as we get set to kick off this year-long season. Coming up here in round number 1, that's newcomer Michael Harry out of Detroit, Michigan with his anger management Chevrolet. He pulls to the line and gets staged and ready against another newcomer. That's Jeffrey Skipper's daughter, Jordan Mullins, in the full charge Corvette coming out of Nashville, Tennessee. Two newcomers get to start us off here tonight. We're going to see who can get it done as two Chevrolets are staged up at the line, making some big horsepower between the two. We're going to see who can get it done, get their first win, and move into round 2 action. As they get staged now, rating on the green light. They're staged and ready to go. Officials making sure everything's good. Here's the green light now. Coming down the stretch, they look pretty even. Both trucks looking pretty good. Coming up and over the first jump, some nice air by both of them. Up and over the second set of cars. And Jordan Mullins is going to get her very first win in her very first race. An impressive run by Jordan in the full charge Corvette. And you can't doubt not Michael neither, as he looked good for his first time out here as well. But he's going to go on the trailer tonight as Jordan Mullins moves on with the full charge. Now up next, coming out of Get Schooled Racing, coming from Welch, West Virginia, that's Ryan Johnson's son, Aiden Johnson, in the Doomsday. And his opponent in the other lane, coming out of Clemson, South Carolina, that's Chad Legit. We know him as Dirt Dog with the Tropical Thunder Chevrolet. This ought to be a good matchup here. We've seen Aiden out here before, but it's only been once so far, as he was in the Mayhem versus Outlaws big race event. And Chad, he's always a steady competitor out here. He's been out on the Outlaw circuit for quite a while now. Still looking for that big victory, but you know he's not going to give up. And he's staged and ready now, getting ready to face Aiden Johnson with the Doomsday machine. As the officials are checking everything. And there's the green light now coming down the stretch. Chad's got a little bit of a lead coming up and over the first set. Look at the big air by Chad. He's going to roll it over. He couldn't bring it back to save it. And Aiden Johnson got a little out of shape as well, but he was able to correct it and get on across the line. You see Chad over there in the far lane. He got some big time air. Lands hard on the back right tire, and she just leaned over on him, and he tried to save it, but the wall was coming up. So he just kind of let her lay over. A good-looking run from Aiden, though, and he's going to be in round 2 action. Up next to the line now, coming out of Belleville, Ontario, Canada, that's Corey Marvin and his team on Chevy American Revolution Race Team in the Northern Nightmare Ford. set to face off against Jeffrey Skipper's other daughter out here. That's Raylyn Molis out of Nashville, Tennessee, with the 41 Wheelies Whiplash. This ought to be a good race here. Corey Marvin's been out here for a little while, still getting his feet a little wet here and there. He's usually busy keeping the trucks running good for Mike Lanford and Donald Price Jr., but when he gets a shot to get behind the wheel and drive, he's going to take it, and he's here ready tonight for this year-long season. Raylyn Mullins hoping to do good things as well. She wants to win just like her sister did. Let's see if she can get it done, as there's the green light coming down the stretch. She's got a lead on Corey. Corey's going to have to come back as they come up and over the first set of cars. Good looking there. Coming across the second one, and man, oh man, that's a close race right there. I think Raylyn may have got it, but I'm not sure if Corey Marvin come back on her. It was a close race. They were door handle to door handle right after the first jump there. Raylyn had him coming out the stretch though, and then I think Corey Marvin planted that Canadian horsepower down and may have got her. We're going to double check here the Outlaw photo finish, and sure enough, Corey Marvin come back on her and is going to put her on the trailer as he moves into round 2 action with the Northern Nightmare. Well, up next now, coming to the line out of Fredericksburg, Virginia, that's the guy, the owner of Monster Truck Attitude, Steve Jones, Hot Rod, and Virginia Giant pulling to the line, and his opponent in the other lane out of Boise, Idaho, that's Justin Lamb and the Snakebite Treasure Hunt. Now, Steve, as you recall, he's been out here for quite a while. Got his first big win finally in the Old School Series with the Excalibur Chevrolet. Justin Lamb still getting his feet wet a little bit out here. Has looked good in previous competition though, as you saw him in Snakebite and Dragon in Season 6. He really likes this Snakebite machine. So let's see if he's got anything for Steve Jones and the Virginia Giant. As there's the green light now, coming down the stretch. Justin's got a little bit of a lead on him. Coming up and over the first set, some big air by Justin, a pogo by Steve, and look out, Justin's going to roll it over in the Snakebite machine. He hit that first jump, got a little cockeyed, landed it, tried to correct it, comes up on the next set of cars, and it just rocked up and rolled over on him from there. As Steve got a pogo, but still looked good. He's going to be in round 2 action. Justin Lamb starting off the season with a rollover. Not the way he wanted, but nonetheless, we'll see him back again next week. Up next to the line now, that's Aaron Church with that custom UFO, better known as Alien Invasion, was recently let go from Corey Marvin's Chevy American Revolution race team. So he's out here now looking to do good in Alien Invasion. But he's set to take on, coming out of Wild West Racing, that's Krista Robertson, Scarlet Bandit. You know she knows how to get it done. She's been out here before several times, got her a win. Aaron Church still looking for that big win. He's been close before, but this ought to be a good matchup here. As Aaron Church with Alien Invasion gets ready to take on Krista Roberts with the Scarlet Bandit Ford as they're staged and ready, waiting on that green light. Officials making sure everything's good to go. Here it is now. Here they come down the stretch now. They're looking dead even as they get ready to come to the first set of cars coming up and over. Problems from Aaron Church. He gets a little crooked after hitting the jump, gets caught up on the lane divider. Krista gets a little out of shape as well, but nonetheless, she's going to get across the finish line, and she's going to put herself in round 2 action. Problems for Aaron Church, not the way he wanted to start off the year. He's going to double check the truck, make sure everything's A-okay with it, as it looked like something may have come loose as they come up and over the first set of cars. Nonetheless, he's on the trailer. We'll see him back next week. Up next to the line now, the owner of Wild West Racing, that's Timothy Cantwell with the Bounty Hunter. And his opponent in the other lane is going to be Chase Moyes in the 34 Ford, better known as Time Flies. Now this guy here, he has been ready, itching to get behind the wheel. He is so stoked to be out here on the circuit, and he's finally here and ready now. But Timothy ain't no pushover. He's tough when he's got that old Bounty Hunter running just like he wants it. So we're going to see who can get it done and get into round 2 as 2 Fords are at the line. Both of them making some big-time horsepower. We're going to see who can get it done as they're staged and ready for the green light. And there it is now. Coming down the stretch, Chase has got a big lead on him. Timothy's going to have to play catch-up coming up and over. Look out. Chase getting wild, and he's going to roll Time Flies over. as Timothy's going to roll across the line. He stumbled up after the first set of cars there, but nonetheless gets it across the line. Chase rolling it over and the time flies. Not how he wanted to start off, but hey, sometimes you get antsy and get excited. That's how it goes. A good looking run. Timothy's going to be in round 2. Now up next to the line now, coming out of Corey Marvin's Chevy American Revolution race team, that's Big Mike Lanford with his 57 Chevy Nomad, better known as Avenger, and his opponent in the other lane. Coming out of Bonita Springs, Florida, the owner of Thick and Thin Racing, that's Rudy Zilge with his new Samson Chevrolet. Now, if you guys recall, in Season 6, he had some good luck with the Samson Chevrolet in the Hot Wheels series. He got with me and said, hey, let's put that thing on a Spin Master chassis, and he has been stoked ever since, ready to see how the truck performs. Mike, you've seen him out here before. Usually very good in American Gardening, but he's in Avenger now. Let's see what he can do now as 2 Chevrolets are staged and ready at the line. There's the green light now. Coming down the stretch, Rudy's got a lead on Mike. Mike's going to have to come back on it coming up and over the first set. Problems for Mike Lanford, as you see. It looks like something in the rear steering snapped as he can't even get across the last set of cars there. He come up and over that first set, and you see the rear steering just caught left all of a sudden, and that's definitely an issue. Corey Marvin's going to be all over that truck inspecting it and getting it ready for next week, but Rudy is in round 2 action. Up next to the line now, coming out of Wichita, Kansas, that's Big Lewis Thompson IV, the owner of LT4 Trucks Must Soar, and his beautiful Pure Muscle machine. His opponent in the other lane, coming out of Blazers Motorsports out of Nashville, Tennessee, that's Jeffrey Skipper in the Blue Thunder Overcast Ford. A classic Ford Chevy matchup, staged and ready at the line. These 2 guys here know how to get it done, as Jeffrey has a championship under his belt and a couple of wins, and Lewis has a couple of wins under his belt as well. They both know how to get it done, but only one's going to prevail here to get into round 2 action as they're staged and ready at the light. There's the green light now. Coming down the stretch, Lewis has got a lead on Jeffrey. Jeffrey's going to have to come back. Look out. Lewis getting out of shape, gets into Jeffrey's lane. Kind of bumps him over some as he goes over there and taps Rudy a little bit. And as you see there, problems for Lewis Thompson. He's going to have to double check the Pure Muscle machine to make sure it's running okay after this event. As Jeffrey Skipper's going to move into round 2, kind of goes over there and taps Rudy like, hey man, you're next. I'm coming after you. As he's going to be in round 2 action. Up next to the line now, coming out of Chesterfield, Michigan, that is Chris Balut in the Stone Crusher machine, pulling to the line now. And his opponent in the other lane, coming out of Bonita Springs, Florida, out of Team Thick and Thin Racing, that's Savannah. They call her Savvy, in her brand new bulldozer machine. Now, Chris Balut, you've seen him out here before. He's got a win, but that came back before the show started, and he was also in the Thrasher machine. Still looking for some big success with the Stone Crusher. And Savannah, you usually see her in some different rides. She's still trying to find that sweet spot, and she's in her brand new bulldozer here tonight. She's got that Duramax diesel dialed in and ready. Let's see if she's got anything for Chris Balut, as there's the green light now. Coming down the street, she's got a lead on Chris. Chris is going to have to come back up and over the first set. Look out. Chris Balut's going to roll it over in the Stone Crusher. He tried to bring it back around but couldn't do it. It rolls on over. He couldn't quite get across the finish line. Savannah was a little bit out of shape over there in the far lane, but was still looking good. She got some big time air coming over that first set. But Chris Balut rolling it over, not how he wants to start this season off. And we got the Outlaw track crew down there now going to flip him back over. And you can already see the damage done to the Stone Crusher machine. The hood flies off. Got a little bit of damage on the back of the body there. Chris Balut already getting ready to start working on this machine this season. Not how he wanted to start it off, but he will be back next week as it's mainly just fiberglass damage. Well, up next to the line now out of Corey Marvin's Chevy American Revolution race team in that awesome looking 61 Chevy K10. That's Donald Price Jr. in Big Kahuna. And his opponent in the other lane coming out of Boston, Massachusetts. That is James Valancourt with the Just Delayed Jester. Now, James Vaillancourt, he won the last event of the Season 6 Hot Wheels Series. He's still carrying that checker flag. He wants to carry it all the way through the night and keep that flag on the back of that gesture machine. But Donald Price Jr., he's trying to get the Big Kahuna dialed back in because if you recall, he was not running up to snuff in that last season we saw him in. Corey thinks he's got it dialed in now. Here they come down the stretch looking dead even. James getting a little sideways. Look out, big time error by both of them. And James Vaillancourt with an awesome looking save over there in the right lane. That's not going to get him the win, but he saves it and keeps it off the wall. Donald Price Jr. with an awesome looking pogo. The truck and himself looks to be back in tip-top shape where he won back-to-back championships in several races in a season. Donald Price Jr. on into round 2. Well, up next, out of Calais, Maine, and out of Blazers Motorsports, that's the madman Ryan Hayward in the Bigfoot machine. And his opponent in the other lane is Violet Craddock coming out of Slidell, Louisiana, also out of Team Walk the Plank Racing with her Monster Mutt Poodle. She's bad fast with that Poodle. She won a championship in her very first race, or first season, Also won her first race in the second race of the season and topped off the season with a win. Ryan's still looking to get back in shape as he is part of Blazers Motorsports now. He's had success out here before, so let's see how he does this season in the Bigfoot machine. As both drivers and trucks are staged and ready, there they go now coming down the stretch. They look pretty even. Coming to the first set of cars, look out. Ryan Hayward going for a ride in the Bigfoot machine. Out here trying to do backflips during racing. Got Violet distracted over there. She doesn't quite get all the way across the finish line, but nonetheless, she gets across it as I believe she was looking over in the other lane in shock as I was here as well up here in the booth. What a wild ride by madman Ryan Hayward. Violet Craddock's on into the next round. Up next now to the line, out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, that's Keith Cromwell in the Monster Lobster Crustacean, and his opponent in the other lane, coming out of Team 911 and from Buffalo, New York, that is Ethan Wagner with the 5-alarm machine. Now, both these drivers here, they both know how to get it done. Ethan's got a win and was close to winning the championship in Season 6, but couldn't quite get there. Him and his dad, Rich, finally got the truck dialed in. And Keith, he's been close to victory before out here. Let's see if he's got what it takes this season to get a victory under his belt, as he's always a tough competitor in that Monster Lobster. They're staged and ready now at the line, seeing who's going to punch their ticket in the round 2 as the green light goes here now. Coming down the stretch, they're dead even. Problems for Ethan already. You see he gets crooked off the stretch, and a wild pogo gets into the wall a little bit. It looks like the 5-alarm issues are trying to sneak its way back into the 911 camp. Rich and Ethan not looking forward to that, as they worked so hard to get it running good for Ethan, but it looks like it's going to be back to the shop for them, and Keith Cromwell will be in round 2 action. Well, up next now, the owner of Walk the Plank Racing out of Slidell, Louisiana, that's Jason Craddock in the red snakebite, pulling to the line, and his opponent in the other lane, he just watched the problems with his son. That's the owner of Team 911 out of Buffalo, New York, Rich Wagner with his backdraft machine. Now, Rich is working on a truck to get sent my way, but for now, he is going to be in the backdraft machine. Jason Craddock, he knows how to get it done out here. He doesn't have a championship, but he's got several wins out here. I think he's got the most wins out of all the drivers out here. And Rich just finally won his first race in the Thunder Chicken in the Old School Series. Here they go now. The green light goes. Here they come down the stretch. Rich has got a lead on Snakebite. Coming to the first set of cars. Look out. Jason Craddock getting wild. And Rich is going to get across the line, but a little bit out of shape. And I would be too if the guy in the other lane was trying to backflip out here during racing. Trying to copycat Bigfoot as Jason Craddock goes on a wild ride, flipping the snakebite machine over. And Rich is going to get past the line and put himself in the round 2 action as Jason Craddock's going to go on the trailer here tonight. Coming to the line now, the owner of the Sunflower Monster Truck Crew and his 51 Ford panel van, better known as Gravedigger the Legend. That's Matt Cheever. And his opponent in the other lane is going to be the owner of Blazers Motorsports, coming out of Batesville, Missouri, or Mississippi, excuse me. That's Blake Willis and his Mohawk Warrior Fire. These two guys here have been around the circuit for quite a while now, and we're going to see who can get it done here, as it's a Ford versus Cadillac matchup at the line. If you recall, Blake won the very first championship in Season 1, and Matt, he doesn't have a championship yet, but he's got it done in the Legend and the Gravedigger as he drives that in the Hot Wheels series. Here they go now with the green light coming down the stretch. Matt's got a little bit of a lead on him. They're both looking good coming up and over the first set. Blake trying to come back on him and coming across the line as it looks like problems for both trucks. They kind of shut down early as Matt Cheever barely gets past the line. Blake Willis isn't going to get there. They're both going to have to check the trucks out, especially Matt coming back for round 2 action. And Blake Willis will be ready for next week's action as Matt is moving on here. Coming up next to the line now, out of Arnold, Missouri, that's Rocket Man Mitch Brown and his Trick Flow Bigfoot. Such an awesome orange looking color on that thing. We're used to Bigfoot being blue, but that is a beautiful orange. And his opponent in the other lane out of the Sunflower Monster Truck Crew, that's Nugget and the Zombie Machine. Nugget's still looking for that big time victory out here, as his uncle Matt and his brother Peanut has found it several times. He's still looking for the winner's circle. Now Mitch Brown, as you recall, he won the Old School Series Championship and also got himself a victory in the Gravedigger in the Old School Series. Looked very good, and that's why we call him Rocket Man, because he had that old panel van rocking and moving. But he's facing Nugget now. Let's see how it goes down the stretch. Nugget's got a lead on him coming up to the first set of cars. Nugget's out of shape. Look out for the wall. Mitch Brown going for a wild ride himself as he comes up and over, pogos the truck on the lane divider. But nonetheless, it's going to get across the line. Nugget over there in the far lane getting out of shape, bumping into the wall a little bit. Matt Cheever is going to be inspecting that truck after that run. Not satisfied with it, but Mitch Brown is moving on. Up next here now, that's Wild Man Ryan Johnson, the owner of Get Schooled Racing, coming out of Welch, West Virginia, in that brand new West Virginia Mountaineer. He found himself an old school fiberglass body, and he's got it mounted on that Spin Master frame. It looks awesome. His opponent in the other lane, out of the Sunflower Monster Truck Crew, is going to be Peanut in the Max D, and this ought to be a barn burner of a matchup here, as these two guys always run very well. Ryan only, surprisingly, has one win out here, but you know he's looking for more, and Peanut knows how to get it done, as he has got 2 wins under his belt. Still looking for the championship, but he knows how to get it done. As they're staged and ready now, there's the green light. Here they come down the stretch now, looking pretty even, but Wild Man starting to pull the lead. Coming up to the first set, look out, Wild Man living up to his name. Pogos the truck, and Willie's all the way across the line is going to rock it over right there at the finish. What a wild ride by Wild Man. I expect none the less from him. A little bit of problems for Peanut in the other lane as he got out of shape a little bit, doesn't make it across the line, and Matt Cheever's going to be all over that truck as well. He wants his nephew's trucks running good, and he's going to be inspecting them very hard as Wild Man moves into round 2 action. Speaking of round 2 action, here we go. Moving right along here tonight, Jordan Mullins with an impressive round 1 win pulls back to the line in her full charge concept Corvette. And her opponent in the other lane is going to be Aiden Johnson with the Doomsday Machine. Both had a fairly decent looking run in round 1. Jordan looked a little bit better as Aiden got a little bit out of shape, but nonetheless, he still won. We're going to see what they can do here in round 2 as these two youngsters are set to throw it down to see who can punch their ticket into round 3 action. Full charge at the line, ready, taking on Doomsday. Staged and ready. There's the green light now. Here they come down the stretch. Doomsday with a big lead. Aiden looking good. Getting a little sideways. Oh, what a wild save. Acting just like his dad out here. He stole the show from Jordan But Jordan is going to get past the line and get another victory out here in her first race. Excuse me. A good looking run by Jordan. Got a little bit out of shape, but she still gets past the line. And what a wild run by Aiden Johnson as he gets the save, but Jordan moving on. Coming to the line now, Corey Marvin brings the Northern Nightmare Ford back to the line. And he is set to face off in the other lane against Steve Jones with the Virginia Giant Ford. It's going to be a blue oval battle here to see who can get it done and move into round 3 action, as both trucks look very good. And round 1, Corey Marvin barely getting by Raylyn Mullins in the whiplash, and Steve getting it done. We're going to see who can get it done here in round 2 action to get into round 3, as 2 Fords are staged and ready at the line. One out of Canada, one from Virginia. Let's see who gets it done as they come down the stretch now. Steve's got a lead on him. Look at the wheel stand by Steve, and he's all out of shape over there. What a wild-looking run from Steve Jones. He was out here freestyling on that run instead of racing. And Corey Marvin getting a little out of shape. I think he was watching him over there in the other lane. Steve getting wild here tonight with the Virginia Giant, but he's going to go on the trailer, and Corey Marvin is going to be in round 3 action. As we get set for the next matchup now, pulling back to the line, that's Krista Roberts with her Scarlet Bandit Ford Expedition. And in the other lane, she is going to face off against her husband, Timothy Cantwell, in the Bounty Hunter Ford Expedition. This ought to be a heck of a matchup here, and Timothy better watch his step if he don't want to be sleeping on the couch after this race. We're going to see if he takes it easy on her or if he's going to flat-foot it on her, as these trucks make the same horsepower, same motor and everything. It's just going to depend on which driver can outdo who as they're staged and ready, waiting on that green light. And you know Timothy's playing mind games with her. Here they go now, the green light coming down the stretch. They are dead even as they come to the first set of cars. Whoa, what a wild ride by Krista Roberts. She sticks it straight up and down on the tailgate and just plants it right there as Timothy moves on, going across the line, and one of his better looking runs in the Bounty Hunter machine. What a wild ride for his wife, Krista, sticking it right on the tailgate. And I don't think she's going to be too mad with him after making her own mistake. As we get ready for the next matchup here, Jeffrey Skipper brings the Blue Thunder Overcast back to the line, and his opponent in the right lane is going to be Rudy Zilligy. They call him Mr. Second Round, and if you guys have watched this series for a while, you know why. When he gets to round 2, he just can't seem to get out of it, but he's looking to break that curse here tonight to start off this brand new season with that brand new Samson Chevrolet, as he is staged and ready, taking on Jeffrey Skipper in the Blue Thunder Overcast Ford. Another Ford Chevy matchup. Let's see who's going to get it done. Tennessee versus Florida, as they're staged and ready, waiting on that green light to go. There it is now. Here they come down the stretch. Rudy's got a little bit of a lead. Jeffrey's going to have to play catch-up coming up and over the first set. Whoa, look out. Jeffrey Skipper going for a wild ride. He's also trying to do a backflip out here. Rolls the Blue Thunder Overcast machine over, and Rudy is going to get out of round 2 with an awesome looking run in the Samson Chevrolet. He kept it clean, come over both sets of cars, and was looking good. You guys better watch out because he seems dialed in. Jeffrey Skipper rolled over on the trailer here tonight. Well, up next now, that's his fiance, Savannah, comes to the line in her Brodozer machine, and her opponent in the other lane is going to be Donald Price Jr. in the Big Kahuna. Now, this ought to be another good matchup here, as Savannah, with her new ride Brodozer, we've seen that truck out here before. Jalen Prezet was behind the wheel, got himself a win and a championship with it, and Savannah's in it now trying to get it to where she likes it. But as I said earlier, Donald looks to be back in championship form, and if he is, you better be on your P's and Q's, because he is hard to beat when he's got that Big Kahuna running at 100%. There's the green light now. Here they come down the stretch. Donald's got a lead on her. She's going to have to play catch up. Up and over the first set. Some nice air by both of them. And look out. Savannah's going to rock it and roll it over as she gets a little out of shape. She was trying to save it. Bumps into the lane divider a little bit, and that just made the situation worse as she rolls it over. And you seen Donald over there. He was out of shape too, but is able to correct it and get across the line. And he is going to put himself in round 3 action. Savannah rolling it over. The truck's probably not hurt too bad though, and we'll definitely see her back in next week action. Up next to the line now, it's Keith Cromwell bringing the Monster Lobster Crustacean back to the line. And in the other lane, his opponent is going to be Violet Craddock with the Monster Mutt Poodle. Now, if y'all recall, the season 6, I believe is when she got her first race, she faced Keith Cromwell to get it done, and he was right there on her heels. And you know he hasn't forgot about that race, and he wants to get her back here tonight. As he staged and ready with the crustacean machine, Violet's not going to back down. She's not scared of him with her Monster Mutt Poodle, and she's ready to go as they wait on the green light, in which there it is now. Here they come down the stretch. They are dead even coming up to the first set of cars. Some nice air by both of them coming across the line, and Violet Craddock's going to get him again in the Monster Mutt Poodle. She's going to hang on to that checker flag. She wants to take it all the way to the end, and she's the only one left out here with the checker flag. James Valancourt losing earlier. Another good run by Keith Cromwell. He was right there on her, but couldn't quite get it done. Up at the line now, that's your boy Shaggy and Matt Cheever and Grave Digger the Legend. And his opponent in the other lane is going to be Rich Wagner in the Backdraft Machine. Now these two here, they have been out here on the circuit for quite some time. Matt's got it done twice out here. Still looking for the championship, though. And as I said earlier, Rich getting his first win just last weekend in the Thunder Chicken Chevrolet in the Old School Series. And, you know, he's still on a high from that and looks to continue doing good. But Matt Cheever is never a pushover. He's ready to take on any and everybody that pulls to that line. So let's see who's going to get it done. As it's a Ford Dodge matchup. The green light going now, coming down the stretch. Rich has got a lead. Coming up and over the first set of cars, they're both looking good. And across the line, Matt Cheever's going to get it done. And Gravedigger the Legend, as Rich Wagner gets a little bit out of shape, but not terrible, but just enough for Matt Cheever to get by him. Rich is going to be on the trailer, getting ready to head back to the shop to work on the backdraft and 5-alarm machine as Matt Cheever puts himself in round 3 action. Now, closing out round 2 action, coming to the line, Wild Man Ryan Johnson. You saw him flip over there in round 1, but the truck wasn't hurt. He's back at the line with this awesome-looking West Virginia Mountaineer. And his opponent in the yellow lane is going to be Rocket Man Mitch Brown with that beautiful orange Trick Flow Bigfoot. Now, these two here have got a little bit of a rivalry. If you watch MTA, you know I own Outlaw Motorsports, and Mitch drives the Bigfoot for me. And Johnson Motorsports, they are one tough cookie, and we are always going back and forth. Mitch would love nothing more than to knock him off right here, but you know Wild Man is a tough guy to beat. As it's a 4-4 matchup, we're going to see who can get it done. Coming down the stretch now, Wild Man's got a big lead on him, and Mitch is in trouble. He come off the first set there, or actually came out of the chute out of shape. He tried to correct it, gets the first set of cars, gets out of shape, and lands on the lane divider and gets hung up on it, and that's going to cost him the race. As Wild Man Ryan Johnson puts himself in round 3 action. He's looking good out here tonight in that brand new West Virginia Mountaineer. Mitch Brown headed back to the shop to work on the old Trick Flow Bigfoot. Moving right along with the action, we are in round 3 now. Jordan Mullins pulls to the line yet again with that Concept Corvette body. She has looked so good out here tonight for her very first race. But in the other lane, that's Corey Marvin in the Northern Nightmare Ford. He has looked good out here tonight also. One of his better looking runs when we've seen him out here on the circuit. Can he take it all the way here tonight? Or is the rookie Jordan Mullins going to put him on the trailer? We're about to find out now as Chevy and Ford are ready at the line. Both of them making some big time horsepower though. Jordan's got that 427 tucked away in the back. There's the green light now to see who can get it done. Coming down the stretch, Corey's got a lead on her. She's going to have to play catch-up, but Corey's in trouble. He got a little out of shape coming out of the chute, and he is not going to cross the line as he got out of shape. It's the first set of cars and headed toward that wall. He shuts it down, and Jordan Mullins is going to be in the semifinals with another good-looking run. I am so impressed with her out here tonight, and I know Jeffrey Skipper is stoked as she is going to be in the semifinals. Coming up to the line now, Timothy Cantwell brings the Bounty Hunter machine back to the line after defeating his wife, Krista Roberts, in the Scarlet Bandit last round. He is staged and ready to take on Rudy Zilligy. I can't believe I'm saying his name because we're in round 3 action and not round 2. But, man, he got out of round 2 with a good-looking run, and he seems to really have that Samson machine dialed in. But Timothy has looked good out here tonight, too. We're going to see who can get it done as they're staged and ready at the line now. Ford versus Chevy matchup. They both make some big-time horsepower. Rudy's got that Hemi tucked away in the back. Timothy Cantwell's got that 555 blowing alcohol. Let's see who gets it done. As the green light goes down, they come down the stretch dead even. They're both a little bit out of shape coming over the first set of cars. And Timothy Cantwell, he comes over that first set and gets hung on the lane divider. And that's going to cost him the race as Samson Rudy over there gets a little out of shape himself, but barely gets past the line. He come out the chute over there. Got a little sideways, hit the first ramp, and kind of missed the second one, but still is going to be in the semifinals. Well, up next to the line now, that's Donald Price Jr. coming back to the line in the Big Kahuna Chevrolet. Looking very good out here. Looks to be dialed in to his old self. But in the other lane, that's Violet Craddock in the Monster Mutt Poodle. And you know she is not scared of anybody. It may be Dawn in the other lane, but she's going to give it all she's got and see if she can upset him here tonight. As the Chevrolet is ready to take on the dog, let's see who can get it done to move into semifinal action as they're staged and ready now. Waiting on that green light to turn green so they can let it go. Officials checking to make sure everything's good to go, and it is. As the green light goes now, here they come down the stretch. Violet's got a lead on him. Coming out of the chute, she gets out of shape with a wild pogo, and that's going to cost her the race. As she heads toward the wall, she gets it shut down in time. She got out of shape, but done it in awesome-looking fashion with a wild-looking pogo. But Donald Price Jr. in the Big Kahuna machine is going to move into semifinal action. And you know, the closer he gets to the finals, the tougher he is to beat. So here, closing out round 3, your boy Shaggy pulls to the line. Matt Cheever and Gravedigger the Legend, and his opponent in the other lane is going to be Wildman Ryan Johnson with that awesome-looking West Virginia Mountaineer. Seems to have this brand-new truck dialed in here tonight. Let's see if he has anything under the hood for Matt Cheever, as he has looked good here tonight. One of his better-looking performances. As 2 Fords are staged and ready at the line now, ready to throw it down to see who can punch their ticket to the semifinals. Both have looked good all night. They're ready now. Officials checking everything to make sure it's A-OK and good to go. And there's the green light coming down the stretch. Ryan's got a lead on Matt. Matt's going to have to play catch-up. Coming over the first set, and look at Wildman living up to his name. He sends that thing, almost trying to do a backflip in the other lane now. What a wild-looking ride for Wildman. Like I say, we call him Wildman for a reason, and that shows you why right there. He can absolutely send those trucks. And he stole the show from Matt as Matt gets distracted a little bit. Barely gets past the line, getting distracted with Wildman trying to do backflips over there. Well, here we are in the semifinals. There's Jordan Mullins again with the full-charge Chevrolet Corvette. Such an impressive run here tonight for her first time out. She is here in the semifinals. And her opponent in the other lane is Rudy Zilligy in the Samson Chevrolet, who's looked better than ever out here tonight. And we're going to see if he can punch his ticket to the finals. He's been there before, but has not come up with a win yet. And Jordan Mullins would love to upset him and also get her very first big win in her very first race, as two Chevrolets are ready to throw it down as they're staged and ready at the line, waiting on that green light to go. Here it is now. Coming down the stretch, they are dead even. Door handle to door handle coming up and over the cars. Problems for Jordan, but look at Rudy. He's getting wild as he goes end over end, rolls it back over. He better hope that truck is A-OK, because if it is, he's going to be back for finals. But if not, we'll see Jordan Mullins coming back. Jordan got out of shape coming out of the chute. She hit the first set of cars, got a weird bounce, and from there she shut it down. But still a very impressive first race for Jordan Mullins. Now, if Rudy can get the truck back, who's going to join him? Is it going to be Donald Price Jr. in the Big Kahuna? Or is Matt Cheever going to punch his ticket to the finals? And Gravedigger the Legend, he's got some tough competition over there in the left lane. And if you guys recall, to win the Season 5 championship, it came down to battle of points because they were all tied. And Donald Price Jr. beat out Matt Cheever in the race to get the championship. Matt Cheever has not forgotten about that and wants to get him back very bad. Can he get it done, though, as that 51 Ford panel van is staged and ready to take on that 61 Chevrolet? Coming down the stretch now, Donald's got a slight lead. Problems for Gravedigger the Legend, Matt getting out of shape. And Donald Price Jr. is going to go across the line and punch his ticket into the finals. You seen Matt Cheever come out the chute right there, the rear steering kicked out of shape, and he come up and over that first set, and he saw he had been beaten. He just shut it down because the truck was hurt, and he's got some work to do on all three of his trucks. Well, folks, here we are in the finals. Rudy's eulogy is set to go with that Samson Chevrolet. Didn't hurt the truck too bad from that rollover, mainly just fiberglass damage. And his opponent in the other lane is going to be Donald Price Jr. in the Big Kahuna. Two Chevrolets are staged and ready at the line to close out the Season 8 opener of the year-long season. We're going to see who's going to get the first win out here as we kick off this brand new year and season. Rudy has never won out here before, and he is itching so bad to get it done. Donald's won several times before and has championships and knows how to get it done. Rudy's got his hands full. Let's see if he can get it done, though. Down the stretch there, dead even, door handle to door handle. Coming up and over the first set. Look out. Donald Price Jr. sends it, and it rocks up and rolls over on him. And Rudy's eulogy, after so long, it has been a long time coming. Rudy's eulogy is going to get it done in his brand new Samson Chevrolet. He felt very confident about this truck, and boy, was he right as he gets it done. A shout out to Donald Price Jr. over there for making it to the finals. It'd have been a close race if he wouldn't have rolled over. But again, congratulations to Rudy's eulogy and the Samson machine. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, be sure to shoot the subscribe button. Leave a big thumbs up. Be sure to check the group out in the link to the description of the video. And I look forward for this year-long season. And I hope you guys are stoked and ready to enjoy it right along with me. Thank you guys for all the support. And we'll see you Monday night for Monday Night Drags.